Did you ever have a experience where people have looked at the choices you have made and gone, why did you choose to do it that way? Or I'm not sure why you're doing the things that you were doing. Or people say to you, but can't you see? And you're going, I really can't. That's what we're going to be chatting about today. Learned helplessness. My name is Michelle. I am your emotional resilience coach. And welcome on my journey of breaking free of the bonds of codependency and learning to take the power back in our lives. If this resonates with you, please do hit like, subscribe, and the notifications button. All right, so what is learned helplessness and how does this contribute to being a codependent? So, when you are a child and you are truly in a situation where you are helpless, you learn either by mirroring those around you or by trial and sometimes, unfortunately, error, ways and means of being that allows you to survive the abuse and dysfunction of your home. Now, I have narcissistic slash codependent parents, and I needed to learn to survive the chaos and the trauma in my life, which resulted in so many ways of being that is codependent. All right. The problem is that when you're a child, you truly are the victim, but you get used to not seeing the choices because you get used to not having any of them. So you don't even look for them. You don't even try. You shut down your emotions, hello dissociation. You walk on eggshells and you make sure that everybody else around you is okay, even if it's to the detriment of yourself, hello burnout. You people please to the point where you are constantly exhausted, feeling you're not doing enough, you're never going to be enough. You are driving yourself and everybody else around you crazy. You take your value and your worth by being able to fix and somehow look after those people around you, in which case sometimes in some cases we enable them rather than actually empower them. It is long and it is complicated and there is a lot to it. This is a very simplified version of why we are the way we are. We have learned that our choices, if we have any, are very limited. We learned to survive by people pleasing, by not ruffling feathers or rocking the boat. We learned to make sure that everybody else was okay around us over ourselves. For us to even look inward and ask ourselves, hey, how you doing? Let's do a check-in, feels like some sort of betrayal, but not to ourselves, sadly. We feel like we're betraying those around us, that we need to be there in full force with them. We know, understand, and excuse, and sometimes we are in denial to bad behavior. He's like this because of that, or she does this because of that, or if only this were to happen. And we kind of just ignore red flags and give people free passes to the point where we allow them to hurt us and damage us and add to the layers of pain and feeling that we are not good enough. Boundaries are never in the interest of an abuser to teach you to have, so those we don't understand. And we kind of fumble through life, and why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep repeating these patterns? Why do these dysfunctional relationships keep coming into my life? Because we all have blind spots. We might have strength and heal in some areas and grow, and then someone or something will come along and we'll think, what is happening? I thought I was through this. I thought I was on the other side, when really there was more to it. There was more to the core that we need to just unravel a little bit and see what triggers us, why it triggers us, how and why we show up the way that we do. Because invariably, every victim needs a villain, right? And what happens is that we learn from young that we have no choice or very little choice. So we don't always see the choices as wide as other people. And if we do see the choices, some of the choices may feel like death, like agonizing. So we would hurt others or ourselves, we would choose to hurt ourselves over anybody else any day. Rather let me take the pain. I'll take the pain. I'll take the abuse. I'll take whatever to try and protect other people from the consequences of their actions, to kind of let other people have almost a get out of jail free card. Unfortunately, life doesn't work that way, but we would go to all extents to protect those around us. And we would burn ourselves out in the process, and then we would be, oh my gosh, finished, flat, forgotten, and we will be beating up on ourselves and saying, you're stronger than this, or you're not good enough, get up, keep going, nobody's got time for this, right? We don't know how to be kind to ourselves. And we get stuck in situations where we are flummoxed and we are spinning for our survival. And all of this is called learned helplessness. We are rather staying stuck and repeating the patterns than breaking out of it and being free and being empowered. And yes, making some really hard, scary, sometimes it feels like the end of the world is going to come type of decisions if we make those decisions. But these decisions allow us to walk and move through to freedom. So have a bit of a checklist with yourself. Go through some questions with yourself. Do I put everybody's needs above my own? Do I people please? Do I walk on eggshells around certain people, looking and watching and waiting for the other shoe to drop? Is there a lot of drama in my life all the time? Does it feel like things just go wrong, go wrong, go wrong? Right? If you're answering yes to these questions, chances are you're a victim and you have one or two villains in your life. You have set them up to play that role in your life. For you to break free of that, you need to no longer be a victim in your own life. And you need to learn skills, and you need to learn new perspectives. You need to learn boundaries and to not ignore red flags and to not be in denial. And we need to learn to take our power back so that we can be the better version of ourselves, so that we can actually really just thrive and enjoy life rather than feel like we are just surviving, and sometimes just barely, day to day. So that is what learned helplessness is. It is a great topic, and it is great to sometimes catch yourself in the act, or if you are in a situation where you have some choices ahead of you, or you're not sure if you have choices ahead of you, or maybe you don't even like the choices ahead of you, and you want to stay back and you want to stay in your comfort zone. Remember, it takes courage to break out of our comfort zones. Lean into that courage and say, this is just learned helplessness. This is what I learned to survive my childhood, and it was necessary for me to survive my childhood, and I did, and I am amazing because I did it, and I found a way to do it, but now I don't want to be there anymore, and I need to step out. So that is a great way. Just start by being onto yourself. Just identify when you are in those situations. When you are in those scenarios, you can look back and say, oh, okay, this is learned helplessness here. What are my choices? Even if I don't like them, even if they scare me, what could they possibly be? Speak to those around you that you trust, that you love, and know that they have your best interest at heart, and ask them some ideas, some thoughts to kind of let you shift your brain a little bit so you can see that you really do have choices. When we see our choices, when we see that we're not the victims in our lives like we've been thus far, then we can break out of our learned helplessness. If this resonates with you, please do hit like, subscribe, the notifications button, and I love to hear from you. Do put in the comments your thoughts and opinions, and come over to Instagram and say hi to me there too.